Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where we're talking about DRIPPIN's Villain the End album. Now, before you comment it, I know I'm late, okay? I'm like a week late on this album, but in my defense, I don't think you understand how busy the past week was for me. Like last week, you don't even understand, okay? Like the amount that we're not getting into it again. The point is, dead grandma basically meant that nothing was happening in the Simon life for like a week, at least 2 to 3 weeks. So like, I'm sorry I'm late. We're here now. Anyway, just so how things are gonna work. I'm gonna run through the track list, give you my thoughts on each song, and then give the album score of 10 at the end. However, I do have a disclaimer before we get there, which is that everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion. Music is subjective, and that is great. Alright, cool. Now that we have all of that out of the way, let us get started. So first up, we have INO, which is our instrumental intro moment, and personally, I enjoyed her. I will concede it's a little bit long. Like, for me personally, 90 seconds is the maximum or so that I'm really like, okay, beyond that, it feels a little too long. This song is nearly 2 minutes, so it's definitely on the longer side, but I didn't mind it all that much if I'm being honest. Like, the music, for the most part, isn't that bad. However, I do have to point out one thing. It was giving, to me, it was giving B2B's I'll Be Your Man intro. Like, listen to the start of the background music for this one. Listen to that song. They're the same, I swear to God. Next, we have the title track, The One. Now, I'm a little conflicted on this song, okay? Because on the one hand, I didn't like the verses. They weren't for me. I wasn't a huge fan of them. And also, before you say it, yes, I am normally weak for a guitar. I have said this many a time on my channel. It's like part of the Simon canon at this point. This is not that type of guitar. Like, I am not weak for a more electric guitar sound. I'm weak for a more acoustic guitar sound. This is too electric guitar-y for me, so I was not weak for it, and I wasn't a huge fan of it either. However, verses and guitar aside, I actually did like the rest of the song. Like, the pre-chorus is great. It's very pretty. I really liked it. And the chorus, it's fun. Like, it's nothing super special. It's definitely on the more generic side, but it's still fun, and I did still like it. The only issue is that then it goes back to the verses that I don't like. So, in short, I'm quite conflicted about it. I won't say it's their worst title, because I do think they have worse titles than this one, at least one that I can think of. But it's definitely not their best, and knowing Ulim, just because, like, Ulim has a very solid discography, let's say, this is probably on the weaker side. Next, my favorite song, Silence. Now, this very well could be DRIPPIN's best song ever. Like, the best song they have ever created and released. I don't want to say definitively because I'm a newer DRIPPIN stan. Like, I really only got into DRIPPIN, like, this year. So, I don't know their discography well enough to be like, this is absolutely their best song. But I did ask the bestie, and the bestie's been a DRIPPIN fan far longer than I, and she said it's definitely like top 3 to 5 without a doubt. So I'm gonna call it their best song ever, and it's definitely the best song that I have ever heard from them, in the sense that I don't remember them having a song on this level, so I'm gonna call it their best song. But let's actually like discuss the song now. First of all, this background music is going absolutely off in the best way possible. I'm very much here for it. And the verses are exceptional. I was really into them. And the pre-chorus is phenomenal. I loved it. And the chorus? This is one of the best choruses I've ever heard in my life. Words do not properly express my love for this chorus. If you think I'm like overstating my love, you don't understand. You do not understand the way that I reacted when I first heard this chorus. The bestie knows, because the bestie's the one who first played the song for me. I lost my entire mind to this chorus. It is a masterpiece of a chorus. To summarize my thoughts just a little bit, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard. Definitely in 2022, possibly of all time, possibly DRIPPIN's best song, definitely one of them, if not that. Like, this song is everything I want from music. If you were ever wondering what my ideal sound is for the majority of boy groups, it's this song. This is all I could ever ask for. Our next song is Monster. Now, I knew going in, right? Like, after Silence, I knew whatever the next song was gonna be wasn't gonna be as good by comparison. Like, I just knew it wasn't. And I was right, it wasn't. But I will not deny I was still hoping for a little bit better, because this song isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the vibes it's giving, here's how I described it in my notes, and I feel like it's accurate. I said it's a late era Day 6 B-side that I'd probably skip. And I stand by that. Like, there's just something about it that has, like, skippable vibes, but also, like, Day 6 vibes. I can't explain it better than that, but I feel like it was quite accurate. All that being said, though, I can actually see the song growing on me. I feel like there are certain songs out there where my first listen, I'm just like, maybe a no. But then after, like, 3 more listens, I'm like, okay, I see it. I see the vision. I'm here for it. So I feel like that's what this song is going to be. So I am probably going to listen to it a couple more times just to, you know, really flush out my feelings on it. However, as of right now, I'm not the biggest fan. But also, I do have one more thing to mention before I forget. The background music was giving the verses of Pink's So What? And I don't know how to feel about that, but I felt the need to share it. Either way, though, up next, we have Home. Now, right off the bat, I must discuss the background music because I was shaking. Because it's giving Disney vibes. Like, the Dream Still Come True line in the chorus, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a lunatic, but it's giving Disney World ads. Like, I don't know if they still do it because I don't watch Disney Channel as a 23-year-old adult, but back when I was, like, a child and watching Disney Channel, they used to have Disney World ads, or Disneyland ads, they're the same thing to me, but, like, they used to have ads for their Disney parks, and the Dream Still Come True line really gave me flashbacks to those, and I was kind of losing it, so it has that going for it. Also, whilst the guitar in the title, not a huge fan, the piano here, very much into it. Like, it got me a little bit. Honestly, the whole background music is just amazing, if I'm being honest. Like, background music for this song, 10 out of 10, I adored it. As for the rest of the song, though, it's a pretty standard ballad, if you ask me. Like, the vocals are stunning, don't get me wrong. The vocals are very pretty. However, it doesn't really have much going for it beyond that. Like, none of the song, in terms of, like, the verses and the chorus, really got me all that deeply. However, I don't care, because the background music just really was giving me all I could want, so I will listen to this song entirely for the background music and be just fully content, so I'd call that a win. Up next is Utopia, and once more I want to talk about background music, because I was obsessed with this background music. It's so cool, it sounds so unique. Like, I was deeply feeling it, so I do want to mention that right off the bat. This background music is incredible, it's phenomenal. That being said, I also enjoyed, like, the whole song. I enjoyed the rest of it. I thought the verses were really solid, the pre-chorus is great, and the chorus, that is the shining moment of the song to me at the very least, because this chorus bangs, and I loved it. Like, to summarize my feelings, I loved this song, and it is already in my Apple Music. Next, Deja Vu. Now, this song, to me, at the very least, is giving, like, a sexy old EXO B-side. Like, maybe an Exodus era or an Exact era B-side, but, like, one of the sexy ones. You know what I mean. You know what types of songs I'm referring to. I don't think I have to elaborate beyond that. But, like, it's more chill, but I was still, you know, feeling some things. However, I really don't have a ton to say beyond that. It is a great song, but I have little to say on it, so we're gonna move on. Our next song is Escape, and listen, okay? It's giving chill banger, and I'm kind of obsessed. Like, the way that the first chorus, right? She starts, and there's no background music, but then it comes in, like, halfway through, and it just hits perfectly. That's my kink. My jaw dropped at that. I loved it. I was so into it. The rest of the song is also great, too, at least for the most part. I didn't love the rap. I will admit it. Like, the rap was not my style, let's say, so I didn't love her, but the rest of the song is more than enough to make up for it. Like, this whole song as a whole is great other than that rap, so I don't really mind that the rap isn't great, because, like, it's not bad enough to bother me, if you know what I mean. Up next is Champion. Now, this is another song I'm a little conflicted on, because I feel like I shouldn't love it as much as I do, so let me elaborate, okay? The verses have this sort of, like, dramatically grand orchestral feeling to them. I feel like orchestral is not the right word to describe it in reality, but I don't have a better one, so it's the word we're using. Either way, though, like, it feels like they're building to something, and I can't describe it better than that, but all you need to know is that I loved it. And also, while we're on things that I loved, the pre-chorus of the song is great. I was really feeling it. Like, if we're being honest, this song was a very real contender for my favorite song. Not really, actually. I lied. That's a lie. Silence is still just, like, immaculate. But this was, like, a deep contender for my second favorite, let's say, until the chorus hit. Because, like I was saying, like, it builds, right? The verses in the pre-chorus build to this grand-seeming chorus. And then it kind of fumbles and it kind of drops the ball, and it's kind like, it's not a bad chorus, don't get me wrong. I just know, like, in my spirit, right? I know this chorus could have been everything. Like, if this had been like just a really solid chorus, I would have been in love. I would have been losing my entire mind. I would have been sobbing and shaking. But it's not. It's like, it's just a chorus. Like, it's just a chorus. There's nothing super special about it, and I'm kind of disappointed because I know the song we could have had, and I'm kind of bitter we didn't get it. Last but not least, we have When I'm With You. Now, I want to preface everything I'm about to say with like a little disclaimer moment, okay? I know it's November. I'm filming this on November 23rd. I know it's November. It is late November at that. We are closer to 2023 than we are to September at this point. Like, I'm well aware of what time of year it is. I don't care. The song was giving me like bright, beachy summer pop, and I'm in love with it. As for the rest of the song, like, it kind of got me. The chorus at the very least kind of got me. I may or may not have teared up. And who's to say? None of you were here. You weren't here to tell me. But I may have teared up. Aside from that, though, the background music in the song is also just really cool and unique. It's really good. I really liked it. And the verses are great, too. So, like, all around, this song is amazing. On top of all of that, though, it also just felt like a good closing song. One of these days, I will be able to describe what I mean and what I want from a good closing song. But today is not that day, and all you need to know for right now is that I loved this song. Overall, I'm giving this album an 8.8 out of 10. Listen, okay? There are some great songs on here. This has potentially some of DRIPPIN's best songs and potentially their best song. However, there were some songs on here that were giving some filler vibes. Like, it's not the worst case of filler vibes I've ever seen. There are albums that I think we can all think of some where we all know they had a little too many songs. But, like, there are still some songs on here that could have been cut. And this is going to be like a little bit of a tangent, but I promise we're going to come full circle, okay? So just like come with me on this. I feel like groups have lost the understanding of the impact that like a great single can have, right? Like for me personally, right? I would rather you give me like 3 to 5 songs that are all great and are just like I would rather you give me a single album with 3 great songs on it than an album like this that has maybe 5 great songs on it, but they're surrounded by these other songs that are, to say less, great. And it's just, I would prefer the single or the mini. Those are just all good songs. I feel like we've reached an era, not so much with DRIPPIN. DRIPPIN is kind of immune from this, but there are certain groups where it's like, they will only put out fulls. And it's like, we don't need only fulls. Minis have their moments too. Like a good timed mini can be everything to me. And I just wish that we could get back to the world where groups understood the impact of a single and a mini. I'm thinking of certain groups in particular. We're going to get a little too off point, so we're going to circle it back. My point is, I would have preferred this be a mini with maybe 5 great songs on it, as opposed to a full with 5 great songs and 5 other songs. But the great songs are still great, and the other songs, none of them are bad. So yeah, 8.8 out of 10. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your own thoughts on this album down below. Let me know what your favorite song is. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I will be okay either way. Also, if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter, at least until it gets shut down, but my Twitter is s_reviews. I will link that in the description, along with any other DRIPPIN reviews that I have done, so you can check all of that if you so choose. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!